Hi guys, my name is Lexus. I'm an analyst with Blue 57. Just so you know a little background about Blue 57, it's an NCAA approved scouting service tracking high school football players with Power 5 offers in 9 states. At Blue 57, we believe every athlete has a story and they deserve to have it told. Today I'm joined with Coach Jay from Blue 57, Coach Denny Thompson from 6 Points, and Grant Travis from Jacksonville, Florida. So Grant, can you just tell me a little bit about yourself, like how you got involved in football and where you're at in your career right now?
Definitely. I've been playing football for as long as I can remember. I remember like in third grade going to like a quarterback camp because I always wanted to play quarterback, but I obviously wasn't always built for quarterback. Since tiny mite football, I played offensive line. I think I played every single position on the offensive line up until eighth grade when I started to hit puberty and I grew and I slimmed out and just started really working hard on quarterback. But for as long as I can remember, I've been playing football. I mean, football has always been a part of my life, no matter what it's been. And then in eighth grade, I went to this camp, and at that camp, I met Coach Denny, and he was a local quarterback trainer, and he 6 Points wasn't the big, huge known brand that it was. I mean, we used to train out this park with like 12 kids, and it was hot, really hot. And if I could find pictures and videos from me way back then, I mean, a lot has changed since that time. I mean, it's been a lot of work. I've improved a lot since that time, and I'm going into my senior year of high school now, and I've been playing quarterback for 4 years, and it feels like I've been playing it for about 15. I mean, it definitely grown a lot since the beginning, but I've been playing football my whole life. That's basically all I know, and that's what I've been doing.
And who would you say is your biggest inspiration on and off the field?
My biggest inspiration on and off the field would definitely have to be my family. I mean, they're always there for me in everything I've ever done. And when I was like really little, I even did weightlifting meets, and those things are miserable. And then I did wrestling, and wrestling tournaments last all day long. You gotta get me there at like 6 in the morning for weigh-ins, and then we're not leaving until like 8 o'clock at night. Out in motels, out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, they're always there, and a lot of kids can't say that, and I'm really appreciative for that. My dad, he works his tail off all day long. I mean, with construction and pressure washing, and then my mom's so strong. Everything that she's gone through her entire life, losing both her parents at a young age. So I mean, those two people, I've got two super strong people in my life, and I've been taught to be strong ever since I was a little kid, and you make stuff happen. So I think those are huge motivators to me. I mean, I know I can't fail because I got those two people on my side.
Wow, that's great. Family's key for success. So this question is not football related, but can you just tell me who your favorite superhero is and why?
Yeah. My favorite superhero is definitely Captain America because of what he doesn't have, which is superpowers. I mean, he's got super strength basically from that crazy steroid he took, but how he contributes to everyone is by controlling, being the leader of the team, managing everything. I mean, that's definitely why he's my favorite, is because he leads everyone. Like, he's the guy who gets everyone in check, gets everyone going, keeps everyone pushing through, and brings the best out of everyone. And I think that's what I try to do my best at, and that's what I think I'm best at, is pushing everyone, bringing the best out of them, and leading them, getting them ready to play, getting ready to go.
So you would say you're a leader, just like him.
Yeah, that's definitely what I would say.
Thank you for answering those questions. Coach Thompson, I just have one question for you.
Okay.
What's your overall perspective of Grant as a player and as a person?
I think as a player, exactly what he just said. Grant's biggest strength is his energy and his leadership. And we talk all the time about energy and how important it is, not just in a game, but in everyday life and training, and in the way you approach everything. And Grant brings just a whole level of energy. There's a lot of groups that I have to bring the energy. I have to bring the group up. I get to relax a little bit when Grant's there because he does that. He accomplishes that, and he brings everybody up to another level. And that is the kind of stuff that, from a recruiting standpoint, you really can't see that in the a little bit amount of time they get to spend with these guys, but it's there, and it's irreplaceable, and it's genuine with Grant. I believe that some of that can be taught, and some of it is a maturation process. But, Grant, it's natural for him. He enjoys that part of the position. In addition to the physicals that he has, it's a big kid that can run. He's tough. Like he said, he's never going to quit on anything. In addition to all that, I think, that leadership, that energy is something that separates him from a lot of people in the pack right now.
Coach Denny, no, I agree with that. I think the thing that I like about Grant is he has a positive attitude no matter what the circumstances. Because I've watched him over the last few years in games, and you can't really tell the difference whether he's winning or losing in a game because his head is up, his shoulders are strong. He is a fighter, and he's just gonna. That's just who he is. That's what he brings to the game. He has been through a lot of adversity, and when you talk to him, it's always very positive. And I think he's matured a lot, and we all have through adversity. But what else do you think that college coaches need to know about him?
Spend some time with him. Number one, like you just said, Jay. If you spend time with him, he's infectious, and that's the number one thing. But to the point you're making, Jay, and to what Grant was talking about earlier, is this is a guy, and Grant, don't take this the wrong way, that shouldn't have been playing quarterback in 8th grade. That told me, hey, I'm going to play quarterback, and I kind of looked at him and was like, nah, you're not. Like that's not going to work. And we've got a ton of stories, and Grant's talking about if he had old video from back then. Well, I have it. I'm just going to hold it. I'm going to hold it for a little while. But he worked. He's self-made. And every single thing that I told him, he would go on and work out at the house and on his own time, and he almost at times overworked in a lot of instances. And to your point of maturing, I think that's where the maturation has shown is he's a diligent worker now, and he's one of those guys, and I can appreciate this. It's like he's tell him he can't do something, and then just watch him do it. And it may take him a little while, but he's not going to stop until he gets there. And like I said, he can throw a football, he can run a football, he can do all that kind of stuff. He can read defenses. He's got a ton of plays. He's got experience. He's seen a lot. But forget all of that for just a second and realize, as a recruiter, what you're getting here is so much more than what you can go 2 schools over and get. You're getting a guy that's not going to be told no, and you're getting a guy that's going to be a team guy, and you're going to be proud to have in your program for the next 4 years.
No, I totally agree. I see a lot of the videos that come out of your training with these quarterbacks. And the thing that I love about Grant is every time he gets in there, first thing he does is he takes his shirt off. And it's kind of like, and I was kind of wondering if he was going to do this interview with his shirt off today, and just kind of jokingly. But the thing that
but Jay, he needs to take it off to distract us from that hair thing he's got going on right now.
No, I told him the same thing. I got a girl over here in Ponte Vedra that can cut his hair. I gotta get 2 more references, and he's got to go through the back door, and you got to learn the code. But we'll get it in. But we definitely need to get that before football season. But Denny, the thing I like about it is there are some guys where, like, we're talking to Grant right now, and he can talk intelligently. He's a positive guy and all that kind of stuff. But when he steps on a football field, the light just clicks on. And what I like about it is when I see those videos coming out of your gym, he's always got his shirt off. And it's just kind of like, hey, I'm here to compete. I can beat anybody in here. I'm going to do my thing, and we'll see who wins. And he's just, that competition is something that, I know that you've been teaching that, but there's something in his DNA too that I'm going to prove you guys wrong. And, I'd like for you to kind of comment on some of that.
Yeah, no, that's definitely there. Grant, I look at Grant a little differently than I look at a lot of guys because I've been with Grant so long. He's been with me forever. He's almost like another kid to me. And, I taught the kid how to wear a stinking hat. That's reality, right? But at the end of the day, when you're around somebody that much, you start taking things for granted. And the way that we train is a little different than what most quarterback trainers are, or most quarterback development companies are. There's days we try to crush them. And there are days that, from a mental standpoint, I can't stand myself, much less they can't stand me. And that's on purpose. I'm trying to break them at least once a month. And I will say there's times that I feel like I've gotten close with Grant, but then, it's that positive attitude. He gets right back on it and he starts working harder. And it's almost like the harder I push, the harder Grant works. And before his career's over, I'm going to break him one day in there. There's only a couple of them I haven't, but that's what I'm going to before the career's over. But you're exactly right, Jay. And every analysis you've got is he's just that barometer guy. He's gonna set the temperature when he walks into a room. And when you call a play, he's going to understand the play. He's going to execute the play, and he's probably going to even give you a little bit more than what you thought.
So, no, I agree with you. And so, Denny, I know that over the last few years, we have been very fortunate to have a lot of great quarterbacks from this area. And especially in the last 3 years, you've had your hand on most of these guys. And what kind of offense works for him? What kind of college works for him? What do you see him for next year? Or I'm talking about for his college year, not necessarily.
Yeah, that's interesting because there's a lot of guys that we get to come in that are 6'5", 235, and it didn't matter if I trained them or not. They were going to go where they were going to go. I had a very small hand in their success. Grant's got a little bit of that in him. He's very athletic, but then there's also that piece that Grant is going to continue to develop. I think Grant will admit to this. One of the best things that happened to him is how much work we've been able to get in since this whole coronavirus thing happened, because things have clicked with him mechanically. And the next time somebody sees Grant on a football field is going to be a completely different kid than what they saw last year at any point in the year. And so I think that's just a precursor to know as a college, you're getting somebody who's still developing, and what you're going to have when he leaves in 4 years is much better than what you have now, which is pretty damn good. So I think that's the thing as far as an offense goes. It's hard. If I had Grant as my quarterback, let me put it this way. If I had Grant as my quarterback and I had to pick an offense for him to run, there would be more of a West Coast element. Grant, get the ball out quickly, get it on time with a quarterback power type of game. Grant's a little bit addicted to pain. And so it's like, and that's not a bad thing. Like he's going to stick his head in there. And so I think if you're an offense that likes to widen the field out through your passing game, but at the same time you need something in the middle of the field as you stretch that defense out formationally, Grant's your guy.
Yeah, and he's gonna fight for that 3 yards. He's kind of got that Tim Tebow type spirit where he's not going to be denied. He's a big enough kid where he'll get that 3 yards for you when you need it.
Right. Yep.
No, I'm with you 100%. No, that's awesome. I appreciate that. So Grant, tell me what Coach Denny's taught you over the years. How's he made you into a better man?
I mean, honestly, I could fill about a notebook in the past what it feels like forever I've been with Coach Denny. And it seems like every time I'm with him, I learn something new. And you can ask Coach Denny, I ask way too many questions on stuff that we've done 1,000 times because I'm trying to make sure I know it 100%. I want to know exactly what he's thinking, why he's having us do it, what this is doing. And sometimes I might be doing a little too much for that, but it's because I'm trying to learn so much because I know he knows so much. He's taught me so much already. And one of the biggest things is that he's taught me is even outside of football, what he enforces. And it's on my wrist. I mean, it's don't flinch. And basically, like what you're talking about with adversity and stuff like that, I mean, it's kind of, and what you've talked about keeping a positive attitude, a lot of that has come from both my parents and Coach Denny, and how I'm getting reinforced when I'm at home and with Coach Denny about not flinching and just moving forward and being able to stay strong through everything. And it's with anything. You can take that to school, to social life, to influences around you, not flinching this bad stuff, making bad decisions. It's not flinching. Like, just be able to, do what's right, know what's right, and go do it. And then towards football, what Coach Denny has taught me, he's really taught me quarterback. I mean, for as raw as I was and new at the position, he's basically taught me almost everything I know about the position, about from reading defenses to how to take a good 3-step drop. I mean, the list goes on and on for how much that he's taught me. And just these past 3 months that I've been able to be in there so much Like, I think these 3 months I've trained as much as I did 2 years before that with Coach Denny. And with that, like, everything with my mechanics has almost changed. I mean, I've got so much more control over my body and my throwing motion, and what I know what to feel when I throw the ball right. I know where I'm supposed to be feeling certain things with my hip and inside seam and all of that. I mean, I feel like a completely different person. And that's just from 3 months of being taught by Coach Denny. I mean, from the past 3-4 years I've been with him, I've learned so much about everything, about where to put my eyes when I'm taking a drop, when I'm supposed to be looking at my dude, when I'm supposed to be looking at a safety, when I'm supposed to be looking at a corner. I mean, and what they're doing with that, when they're trying to bait me. And the list goes on and on about how much I've learned from them. I mean, it's insane. It's really hard to keep, like, I'm naming so many different things because I'm thinking of, it's a very long list of everything I've learned from Coach Denny, but the most I've learned has definitely been in the past 3 months, and a lot of that has been focused on my mechanics, because that's where I struggled the most at. Was I was learning because you can sit there and learn it. You can learn what defense is doing. You can learn that from experience. You know, I've started for 2 years. You can learn all that from experience, but the biggest thing that I've struggled with was my mechanics, and I feel like I'm at a point now where I'm doing pretty good with it. And a lot of that's come from Coach Denny. All of it's come from Coach Denny with my mechanics and just doing what he tells me to do when he tells me to do it.
That's good. Football can be a cruel teacher. And when you're out there on a team that you think is going to go to the playoffs and they don't make it to the playoffs, and all the things that happen within that realm, it will beat you down. And I think you got beat down last season, and you're a humble enough guy to realize, I got to be better and I got to get better. And Coach Denny does a good job of just pushing the right information, not giving you too much, but giving you the amount that you need. And I'm looking forward to what happens in the fall. The big change for you was last year you were at Ed White and you came back home to Fleming Island. And I'm curious what coming back home means to you and how that's going to play out.
Okay. When I left Fleming Island High School, I was going into my sophomore year, and they had a quarterback who had been starting since he was a freshman there. And I didn't win the quarterback competition, and I felt like I was good enough to play now. And they wanted me to really sit and learn the playbook, which, that's a really smart decision. They have a dude that's been doing it for 2 years. He's doing it very well. They went to the playoffs the year before that, and I think they went 3-7 his freshman year. So you understand both sides. You understand a young kid that feels he needs to get on the field now, and then you understand a system that knows that we got our dude, he's been doing it right. Then we got a younger kid who's good. We teach him the playbook. He's going to be really good coming senior year. And I felt I needed to get on the field now, and I knew Coach Sullivan, which was the coach at the time at Ed White, was a legend around here. He's a great coach. And he's in the Hall of Fame for high school coaching. And so I went there, and I battled it out there, and I won the starting job. And I wasn't asked to do too much with my arm over there. I probably threw the ball about 13 times a game. And then going into my junior year, they switched coaches. We got a whole new coaching staff. Not a single coach that was on the coaching staff before was on the new one. So that was learning a third playbook. I was going into a third season, a third offense, a totally different thing. And that offense, I was asked to throw the ball 30 times a game, which is definitely something I liked. And it was something that I don't feel I did a good enough job preparing for. I didn't realize how much more I was going to need to demand from myself with learning everything. And that's definitely a learning experience from that. But when I left Fleming Island, I knew in my head when I first left, the plan was always to come back. Once Dean was gone, and then I got my experience. It was my turn to come back. And then we lost that vision for a little bit because I was at Ed White for 2 years. I started and I was, building a good relationship there. And then I really feel like what I've just felt around November, I knew it was time to head back. I knew it was time to go back home. And I was talking, once I transferred back, there was no hard feelings. Everything that happened before with me leaving was completely forgotten about. The offensive coordinator, I was talking to him today, Coach Wolf. I mean, he's a great guy. He's taught me so much. We spent the entire quarantine on Zoom calls, him teaching me the offense. I mean, and then Coach Springs, he instantly tried to put me on the weightlifting team the second I got back. He was like, hey, I need a 198. You're going to be my guy. I was like, all right. But it was just stuff like that. And instantly I was running the workouts in 7th period. They took me right back home, and I knew it was the right thing to do was to come back. And I'm back with, the kids I've grown up with, which it feels right. And we've definitely clicked fast, back at it. I mean, I was at the gym today with multiple of my teammates, and we're throwing, when we get together, we throw, we lift, and it just clicks. And I felt like it was the right thing to come back home.
No, I mean, in hindsight, you were kind of a pioneer, because now with the Florida laws, everybody is changing schools around, because the reality is you can't replace experience. It's hard for good talent to sit on the sidelines and hold the clipboard. And that was kind of old school. I think nowadays guys, they want to get on the field and they want to play, and you can't get that in practice. And so I do think you were a pioneer. You kind of jumped into that early. You're back home now. These are the guys, it's closer to your house. I think a lot of elements about that work in your favor. You made the transfer at Christmas, I guess. So you started the spring back at Fleming Island. So you got that transition. Okay, that's good. So no, I think that you've transitioned it as well as you could, and it's never easy, but in the reality, you got to do what's in your best interest to be the best player you can be, so you can go on to play college. And I think Coach Denny has filled in the gaps, and just with as much time as you spent with him, you've just continued to get better, where other guys that would have gone through that same process, they just might not have gone through it. And I think y'all have had your foot on the gas the whole time. So going into 2020, how much better are you going to be than the things that you did in 2019? And you can tell us about the learning curve from 2019.
I won't put a number on how much things will be better going into 2020. But what I can tell you is how much better I feel. And as a quarterback and mechanically, I can't speak for, how the season is going to go. I personally think we're going to have a great season. And I'm not going to say how much better I'm going to do compared to last season. I know it's going to be a lot better, but I can't put an exact number on it. I mean, because of how much better I've gotten as a quarterback, I feel like I'm tenfold better than I was last year, and mechanically and mentally. I mean, I feel 100% ready. And I'm really excited about this season because of that. How much work Coach Denny has put into me, and how much work I've put into myself, and clicking with the team and getting everything right. I really feel like I'm going to have a really good season this year. I feel like Fleming Island's going to have a great season this year. I'm very excited. And the learning curve from last year to this year has been huge. Just really diving in, making sure I got the mental stuff down.
Look good, feel good, play good. That's how it works. So no, I'm with you 100%. No, Grant, I'm excited about this season. I'm excited about seeing you play. I know that you've improved a lot, and I'm really looking forward to your senior season being your best one yet.
Yes, sir.
Thank you both for doing this interview. Grant, you have a bright future ahead of you. Keep that don't flinch attitude and remain humble. Good luck with your upcoming season, and feel free to update us with any accomplishments or offers that you have on Twitter at Blue57, and feel free to check us out at blue57.net. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
What do you mean not put a number? What do you mean not put a number on it, Grant? Like, stick your chest out there, big dog.
Come on.
Yeah, % of like how much better I'm going to be. I don't want to say I'm going to be like 3 times better, but
I mean, you're going to break freaking records.
Yeah,
Grant, you got to get it right here. You got to see it here first. So don't hold back.
Okay.
You got to be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hold back on anything, because you're doing the stuff in the gym. You just had your coach sit here and brag on you. So you got to step into that. it's not. We aren't going on his word. We're going on your play now.
Definitely.
Yep.
I
No,
can't
that's
wait.
great.
I seriously cannot wait.
Me too. Because then I get a break. I need to get y'all's butts to football, man. Y'all need to hurry up.
And I'm
Coach,
ready.
you're gonna be okay with it for about 1 week, but then you're gonna be so used to been working all of us every day. You're gonna be like, oh, I mess up.
No, I love y'all, but no, I need some time, big dog.
Uh,
All right.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
All right. Y'all have a good
All
one.
right. We'll see you. Thanks, Lexus. We'll see you.
Thank you.
Bye. Good
Bye.
job, Grant.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. You're welcome, man.